These are a few really specific things that people on the twin flame journey go through that no one is talking about. They're very specific, and I'm sure not all of us go through this, but I want to share with you guys. Okay, 1. A lot of us have an affinity with ancient Egypt. Like, love it. I lived in New York for a while, and I would go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and the ancient Egyptian section was my absolute favorite. I'm obsessed with sphinxes. I don't know, it has a special place in my heart, and I guess it's because a lot of us had lives there. Second thing is that the feminine counterpart usually doesn't know about the twin journey until after it's like being activated, or like as it's being activated, which is so strange. Like, I lived 30 years of my life having no idea that this was a thing, and then I finally realized what was going on, and I was like, what the hell? But apparently that's really common for the DFs. I don't think this one is true for people who are born with their psychic abilities, but a lot of us when we're younger have a feeling that we're being watched. I used to think that people were like listening to my thoughts, and now I understand this as just, it's, claircognizance, clairsentience, and I didn't understand that like I was connected to a spirit team. So yeah, I probably was being watched. A lot of us think that we are being watched when we're younger, and I think this is just our psychic senses. Don't know why this is a thing, but a lot of us will lose a pet, and it's not just like your mom's dog or something. It's like a soulmate animal, and it's crushing, and it's usually part of like what breaks you in the kickoff of the journey, I would say. For me, this was the second thing that happened that kicked me off into my dark night of the soul. A lot of us go into spiritual isolation when your kundalini is first activated. So you would normally come into contact with your twin, have that like 3-month-ish relationship, and then have the separation, and then you crack open because your heart has taken as much trauma as it can. And when we go through this, normally I was already in a spiritual isolation, but I think this happens because what we have to offer the world is really valuable, and so we are protected until we're able to hone in on that skill and help other people. And it's almost like our teams and the universe doesn't want it to get ruined while we're going through such like a vulnerable time, so we're literally just like protected. I was around no friends. I was around very few people during this time, and I think that's a common experience for probably both, definitely for the feminine, and I think depending on the masculine. I know a lot of them will like be around people to avoid, but I think some of them do go into isolation as well. And the last thing is the 2-year cycles. Even before the journey, I was experiencing 2-year cycles, like you'll move every 2 years, or you'll change your job every 2 years. Whatever it is for you, this is something that obviously has to be healed out before you can come into union, but I just wasn't aware at all that this was a thing, and when I found out, I was like, oh yeah, that's been happening to me every 2 years. And I think these are part of like karmic cycles. Let me know which of those was your favorite. They're all so obscure. Why is no one talking about these things?